Afternoon, everybody. Crazy as it may be, I don't know if you guys can see, let's see if it stops. I think this camera or the card is full up, and it stopped recording right when I took the engine out. Let's see what happens. Is it keeping on going? If it keeps going now, I should be furious because we didn't get that bit of footage. But just to show you what I've done, let's bring this out round here. All it is really is the wood takes the weight of the motor. And I'm not saying you should do this, it's entirely up to you. But I'm lucky, I'm reasonably fit for my age. And I use the jack to take the weight of the motor there, and I make sure it's clear of all the engine mounts, and it's probably about 3/4 of an inch up from where the mounts are and where it would normally line up. And then I straddle the bike like that, and then I hold the engine, I rest my chest as best I can down here, and I use my arms to lift it up and move it out. Now there is a risk of damaging this part of the frame, but if you've got rag there, you should be alright. Or the stuff they use to lag pipes. I get it on that, resting on that part of the frame, steady it, get off, and then move it by lifting it up using my knees, keeping my back straight, and I put it on one of these. Let me just show you. See that drum? I rest it on there. It acts as a giant cushion. And then when it's on there, it gives me time to get sorted out, position myself, and slowly let it come off the drum onto the cardboard. And that's where we are. When we put the other engine in, guys, you'll probably see this obviously in reverse. But until then, apologies for not getting that on footage. For some reason, the camera stopped. I wish I'd had the GoPro running as well. That would have been a smart move. Anyway, it's out. That's it for the time being. I started this project yesterday morning, Saturday, and it was Saturday the 15th. By Sunday, at 3:15, the old engine is out. We can now start tidying things up. We'll put that engine on the trolley and get it out the way, probably around the back, maybe in the other workshop. And then we'll go to work on the frame and all what's needed to do the preparation work for putting the other engine in. Okay, well, I'm going to put a halt there and I will be back later. Morning, everybody. Today's Sunday morning. There's a lot happened over the last few days. Bit of a different video today, because what I wanted to do today is just give you some sort of catch up, really, because a lot of the filming I've been doing, oh, by the way, if it's strobing a little bit from these LEDs, sorry, I've tried and tried and tried. I can't seem to get rid of it, but I will look into it a bit deeper. Anyway, going back to what I was saying, there's a lot of work that's been done, and over a period of time, it's incredible. You get sucked in with the concentration, the camera may be running, and before you know it, you filmed stuff which is just long-winded, drawn out, and you probably can't see a lot, as I said in an earlier video. Today, I'm just going to go round the bike. I'm going to give you an update of what's being done so that you know, really, as I said, it's just the catch-up of all the parts we've taken off the bike and where we are. I think this will give you probably a clearer view of what has been achieved up to date. As I said, I'm going to take you off the pod No, I'm going to leave them on the pod, and I'll move the actual little tripod. It's only a little small tripod. But if you get a bit of a wobble, I don't know how this is going to pan out because this is on the GoPro. So if you get a bit of a wobble, sorry, but just the way it is, I guess. Anyway, let's see what happens. I'm going to take you over to the bike. Yeah. He looks a bit sick, doesn't he? He looks a bit sick. Probably because he is a bit sick. I don't know if you remember, I think I might have mentioned it in an earlier video, but I mentioned I bought another set of shocks. I'd like to keep these because these are Kawasaki ones. They're just dangling away there doing nothing. But I'm going to see if I can get them overhauled. In the meantime, I have bought a set of conies. I'm going to put the conies on, and that will just give me a reasonable, hopefully a good, reasonable, whatever you want, depending on the settings. Obviously you need to find the sweet spot for them, depending on what type of riding you're doing. But more importantly, you notice the swinging arm's out. I'm going to take you back to the bench now, guys, because the swinging arm is, well, it was just terrible. It was really seized. If we look in here, we've got these bushes. Let's just try and take them out. Typical, isn't it, when you want to take them out? These are the bushes that come out of here, and they're a pig to get out. So you've got the bush in that side, you've got the long tube in that side, the spacer tube, which is this one, and you've got these which swivel, and these really all need to be greased up inside there so that you get a nice smooth action when you go over a bump. Pretty logical, really, isn't it? Getting these out on this particular model, I don't think, I'll just say that again, on this particular bike, not the model, I don't think that this, and I don't know, I've got to do some research, I don't think that is a Z1A swinging arm. I don't know for sure. I'm not absolutely certain, but I'm going to look into it. There's probably not a lot of difference between that swinging arm and maybe something like a Z900 swinging arm. But it may differ on a Z1000. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to look into this. This came off the bike, and there's something which is odd here, and I need to check it out. When this swinging arm comes up, it's okay, but if it was to go down, I have noticed, and I'm going to talk to a buddy of mine who knows more about these than me, it hits on these. These seem to be too close in that way, this way, and I'm a bit concerned about that. It may well be something of nothing, but we'll see. We will see. Right, let's go back to the swinging arm. Yeah, there's a wheel here. I'll cover that later. So you've got these bushes here. This is the bearing which goes inside there. And then of course you've got another one which is basically a copy of what we got here on the bench. Now to get these out, if anybody's going to do this, to get these out, what you have to do is you put a bar, and I used one of these. Where's it gone? It's not there. Where is it? Here it is. It's what would you call it? A wrench, yeah, wrench, socket wrench, not the clicky ones. But this is just a bar with a half-inch drive, and I use that as a drift to put down there. You have to make sure this. You have to make sure this one here is slightly off center, and you tap the edge of this tube, and it will knock out one of the shims. Once you get one out, you can then tap that side and knock that one out. I'm sure you get the drift. Yeah, no pun intended. You can use this as a drift bar. Whatever, to tap through there to get it out. So that's that. So we'll put that one down. So that's where I am at the moment. Now today I'm probably not going to be doing a lot of work today on the bike because I need to make a list. I'm going to check this. I've got to clean off the shaft that goes through this, and if there's no play on the shaft and there's no play in these, once they're greased up and done, you can see there's a line in there which holds the grease. There's also, which I thought was pretty good, and this is typical Kawasaki, years and years ago. No cutting corners, they put a grease nipple on here so that you can pump that and fill this all out with grease when it's in the bike. You can't go wrong with that, can you, really? So I'm going to check all that. I'm going to make sure the bar or the shaft that goes through these is of good fit, not binding, but again not loose, because if I take it for an MOT and they wobble the back end and there's play here, then obviously it'll fail. So I need to be pretty precise on that and know where we are. So that's where we are on that. I don't think there's anything else at the moment. I could go over the wheel. Yeah, there we go. The wheel. This is just the rear wheel bearing. Now I'm pretty sure that should be shielded, but I'm not absolutely sure. Cush drive. The cush drive seems to be right. The wheel seems to be right, but I tell you what I have noticed. Some of these spokes are a little bit bent or out of true. So I'm going to check that out. I won't do that today, but I am going to check that out. And that's probably where we are, guys. Right, guys. I'm over by the bike with the swinging arm. Now, because this swinging arm needs to go in as it is at the moment, and I'm using an endless chain, I need to put the chain through that side of the arm before I mount the swinging arm. And this is always a tricky job because the chain invariably gets in the way, but we'll see how we go. I'm going to try and keep this as clean as possible for obvious reasons. Now, it was a bit of a pig to get this in on the test run, but having said that, that's with the old caps. These are slightly wider or thicker, or it could be that the other ones that came off were just worn down. But this is a bit of perseverance here, and we'll see, as I normally say, we'll see how we go. So I've got the weight of the chain on this as well as the swinging arm, so it could be a bit tricky. Very tricky indeed. You do really need two to do this. Come down again. That doesn't help, it was in the shaft. Not to worry. Trouble is, you get grease everywhere and everything gets slippery, and then it makes it harder. They won't stay on the end. They really won't stay on the end now. Let's try an easier way. Let's see if we can hold this chain. Up here. Looks a bit Heath Robinson, but I need to take the weight of that chain off if I can. This one's now come off. No. I need a screwdriver to prise that on. So I'm going to just see if I can drop that back down again. They won't stay on now. Whatever you do, they won't stay on. So I'm going to prise that open the best I can and see if we can put it in that way. Right, let's try it a different way. If I can get this side up first, and I'll try and lever the other bit in. Well, we cleared it, but I've now got to work it up to get the shaft in. And we're in, just by the use of a screwdriver. So you can see now where this chain fits. It's got to be this side of the swinging arm. It is a pain when you consider how easy it would be with a soft link chain, but personally I don't like them. I saw one come off a CB750 a long time ago, and the guy was about 30 feet in front of me. We're doing about 60, just coming onto the motorway in Bristol. And got it in, guys. It's in now. So now I can release this, and that chain can fall back to the far end, ready to put the wheel in. Holding that chain up by wire I think really helped, but the real help was with the screwdriver to lever it. I'll be a bit careful of this because we don't want to scratch the paint, so we'll leave it there for the time being. Right, let's tighten it up to the sweet spot. That's tight, too tight. So we'll back it off a bit. That's nice. That's better. And there's no play. That's good. So, again, just to recap, swinging arm, we covered the bushes and the bearings earlier. The swinging arm is now in. And as I said, we had to be careful to get that one lined up, and get the shaft through. Don't know about you, but I'm puffed out here. Good God above, what's wrong with me? But we had to put that chain on like that. Unfortunately, yes, you're all probably thinking much the same. Unfortunately, the swinging arm has to come out if you replace the chain, which is a bit of a bugger. But that's just the price you pay for endless. I don't mind. I don't mind. It is easier to do it with the engine out, there is no doubt, but you can do it. I've done it years ago with the engine in, but that was a long time ago. I'd probably struggle like hell now actually, but I think if I remember rightly, I had two then. I had my buddy helping, which makes all the difference. Let's just give that a clean off around there. So now we can definitely make preparations for putting the engine in. Yay. Yeah, this is a view from the other side, chaps, because you might not be able to see it very well. There's one cap, the other cap is there behind the chain. We put the chain around the swinging arm, then put the swinging arm in place, and then lined it up with the shaft, and then put the nut on. Bit of a job, but we now got a nice swinging arm motion. It may need adjustment. When the engine's in, I will check it on the lock nut on the other side, but I believe it's at the sweet spot now where if I go any higher on torque, it'll pinch the swinging arm and it won't move so freely. So it's finding that spot where there's movement but no play, but not too tight where it binds. So that's it for the time being. I'll be back later. Just a quick point here, guys. I didn't film this because it's quite straightforward already. I put these new shock abs on. I said earlier they were conies. They're not. I don't know what made me say that. These are Hagens. Now I hope they're going to be alright. If not, by the time I change them over again, I'll probably go back to the original Kawasaki ones after I've overhauled them. But I'm going to have a look at them later. So that's where we are. Right guys, that's it for now. I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for viewing. Please do click the button below. Do hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. It's really nice to get those subscriptions because obviously it helps the channel. It's free, you don't pay for it. Next time I'm going to be doing more work on the Z1 and I hope that you can come and join me. In the meantime, Gary at Gary's Practical Workshop saying bye for now. See you later.